Which side of the argument would you weigh in?
I think I will have to go by what Sunday Guardian has reported. It's I would call it what Nishantji said. Either you are a protectee, you have to be protected all throughout. As he said very rightly, that SPG has formed to protect the Prime Minister of the nation, and this was extended to a particular family because of the history which everybody knows it. There are two former Prime Ministers were brutally assassinated from the family. That is the primary reason this has been extended to the Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and as well as Priyanka Gandhi. I think wherever they are going, if you cannot have a choice of I should be protected only at this particular place when I am here, when I am not, this is my private place. And please also understand, these are people, national political leaders. He is a member of parliament. He was just a few months before he was the president of the oldest political party of this country. How can he even say, or how can even anybody who is an SPG protected, that is the greatest of privilege the nation is giving it to somebody. And the government of the day, the security authorities have the full right to decide what should be the norm of security form. These are security things, are not perceptions which can be discussed at the studio between you and me, or even a Sunday Guardian or a Nishantji. These are decisions which are taken by the experts, and they will decide what, how, when, where all these protectees should be protected at what level.
So Rahul Gandhi ought to have SPG protection everywhere, because it was, like you said, extended to former prime ministers and their families. But Dr. Manmohan Singh apparently doesn't need it because his SPG protection status was withdrawn. What do you like?
That is after 5 years. Please note, that is, as I said, security is assessed time and again by the different authorities, depending upon the different security perceptions that particular time it prevails. How can 5 years later, even Dev Gowda is a former prime minister. He is also not holding on to any SPG protection right now. These are depending upon the third perceptions. Different security covers have been offered to different people. I would say it's a privilege which has been offered to this particular family. They should be treating it. Imagine SPG protection for a particular individual, how much money it costs to the exchequer. You and me pay for their security.
You're saying that this is a privilege?
Your hard-earned money and my hard-earned money is being given. So you're saying this is a privilege that's been extended? It's a huge privilege, and you are just floating the norms here and there. You can't do that whenever you want. And you also have to understand, either you be a politician or not be a politician. There is nothing called as a part-time.
So if you are a politician, you play by the rules of the government, or don't be a politician. Mr. Nambiar, the rationale of wanting details of past visits. I mean, clearly any probable threat to a past visit has probably passed, right? So, I mean, it only lends credence to the argument that this is a bit to track them, to keep a tab on them, to make sure, that their movement is curtailed if they don't abide by the security apparatus that the state is many say, imposing on them. What explains the fact that they want details and records of all past travels as well?
Before answering your question, I just wanted to go back to what Nishantji said. Imagine we are talking about whom? This is not the people who have been given an SPG cover yesterday or after Modi came into power. They have enjoyed this security power. They have enjoyed the security, SPG security, for over the last, I would say, maybe more than 2 decades. What are we talking about today? You cannot have, it's very simple logic. You just need to apply a logic. You enjoy a security in Noida. When you move to, you cross over the Yamuna river, you say that I'm sorry, I'm not a private.
No.
So it is not, you can't have it like that. You cannot have it like that. Either you have an SPG cover, of course.
Let's not oversimplify. The way it's worked so far is that they are SPG protectees until they reach the tarmac of the airport that they take off from. They are under SPG protection, after which also there is information that is provided to Indian missions abroad. It's not like nobody knows where they are. Information is provided to Indian missions abroad, which chooses to not make it public for whatever reason. It is their security which is coordinated by all international missions, and then the moment they come back, minutes or hours before their arrival back in India, the SPG is contacted once again. So let's just be very clear about how this entire system used to work in the past. answer my question. What explains the idea now that all their past trips also ought to be documented and information ought to be provided? Because as a lay person, it lends credence to the theory that this is to keep it up.
So, to be very honest, none of us who are sitting in this panel is a security expert or a former security specialist. But having said that, to me, it's a very simple logic. The simple logic is that you are an SPG protectee. SPG will decide how, when, where all you need to be protected. You cannot have sometimes you will be protected and sometimes you will be protected. You will be a private person, as she said.
Okay.
It is, and when broadly.
Okay. So if you are in public life, fine, fair enough.
Rahul Gandhi is a public person.
If you are a public life, you are a politician.
You are a member of parliament. You are a public person.
You are aspiring to lead the country. It comes at a price. And
absolutely.